Thank you very much for doing this, Chris.
No problem. Happy to do so.
Okay, so we were actually scheduled to meet earlier, but you told me you had to roll back the meeting a bit because you had a call with Acon. Can you let us know what's happening on that side?
Oh my goodness, my schedule has become absolutely intense and absolutely crazy. So recently, Effect.AI has partnered with Acon and his new project called Acoin, which is a digital currency that he's created to be the one currency of a city called Acon City in Africa, which he's been granted $6 billion to build. He's doing really big things. It's really funny because I met him during a virtual conference that I was hosting, and I had to introduce him and his project. And of course, being in the crypto space for so long, I think, oh, here's another musician or somebody that's going in for the cash grab. Jokes on him, but we're in the bear market and it's not going to work for him. But then when I researched who Acon has become since I remember him back in the day, he's become one of the main philanthropists of Africa, and he's doing all sorts of things there. He has this Light Up Africa, where he has produced solar panels to power over 6 million homes of Africans. And so that's when I started to look into him a little bit further and a little bit deeper. And so as I'm reading through his white paper and going through all of this material so I can actually present him and talk about him, I find out that part of his white paper and his cryptocurrency and this Acon city that he's building, he has this initiative to educate young entrepreneurs and unemployed youth on what cryptocurrencies are and what all of these new technologies are. And I said, wait a minute. That's what I'm doing. That's my place. So if there's anybody you should be partnering with in that category, it's me, because Effect.AI actually partnered with the United Nations in a country that you're familiar with, the country of Georgia. And so we've been working closely over the last 2 years with Georgia. And it's funny because I have another story right after this that's relative, but we partnered with the United Nations and we've built a physical location in the city of Rustavi, which is about 45 minutes outside of Tbilisi. And now we have 15 members there that are unemployed youth that are educating themselves with accelerated learning programs and also working on Effect.AI's platform, which is a data structuring platform to actually earn money. And before my call with Acon today, I was actually on a call with Ivan on Tech and the members of the Rustavi Hub, because we just partnered with Ivan on Tech with his academy to give that to the members of our hub there in Rustavi, Georgia. So yeah.
Okay, and since you touched on that, okay, for those of the public that may not be too familiar with Effect.AI, basically what these guys are doing and what they've been doing for a while now, and that I think it's pretty awesome, is that they are trying to find a way to combine machine learning with human intelligence, right? So what you are doing in a nutshell is helping the human side of things train the machine side of artificial intelligence in the end. So for those that might not be too familiar with the Effect, what would you how would you describe the project, and especially knowing this already, that you've been working with the United Nations, you've been working with YouTube, you're part. It seems like every day is like a whole new craze of good news for Effect.AI. So how do you get to this point?
Yeah, great question. And so let's rewind the show here to explain what we do so we can put some context into the United Nations, the blockchain thing, Acon, and everything else. So back in 2017, me and a few very, very close friends decided to look into what blockchain is and what AI is and how we can marry the two of them. And so we said there is a big place in the market that is lacking when it comes to having humans really take part in structuring data, which is the building blocks of AI. So we were already AI developers ourselves, and we were using a platform called Amazon's Mechanical Turk. And we said, what a beautiful platform to decentralize, because Amazon's Mechanical Turk basically outsources data structuring. So you have a big data set of pictures, let's say, and you need them labeled to create an algorithm that can tell the difference between a cat and a dog. So then you need to get that out to as many people as possible to quickly label. Is this a cat? Is this a dog? Is this a tail? Is this an eye? This is a cat's eye. This is a dog's eye. And that's how you kind of train an algorithm by high quality structured data. The unfortunate part is that Amazon's MTurk was not multinational. It was all basically in English and Indian, and all of the workers were either from India or from America, which was really surprising to us because we thought Amazon's MTurk was a global band of individuals working on the internet for this stuff. So we decided to build a decentralized one where we can pay individuals over the blockchain. And it worked incredibly great. We started working with the government of Singapore. We started working with all kinds of South American companies. We started working with all kinds of different people that needed structured data in different languages. And because of the blockchain, it enables us to connect borderlessly to any individual with a Wi-Fi signal. That's the power of blockchain. But then from there, we started to develop a little bit further that obviously humans are great at structuring data, but eventually the machines are going to be able to do those simple data annotations themselves. So then we started to solve the problem of how to incorporate algorithms and humans in kind of a pipeline to automate processes for large companies that are looking to innovate. Because companies were failing trying to figure out what deep learning was and how to incorporate AI. Turns out AI is so simple, so incredibly simple. So if you're spending 100 grand on a proposal of an AI company, it's a big sham and scam. If you call us at Effect.AI, we will help you incorporate a bunch of cutting edge algorithms from Amazon or Microsoft or any of these big AI companies that have these small algorithms, Google and the likes. We will help you put that into your pipeline with a bunch of human validators that are going to make sure that the algorithms are doing their job right. And you will have an underlying model that the humans and the algorithms are training. So you have this proprietary algorithm that you're building yourself with our human pipeline of algorithms and humans. So that's what we're working on now. Structuring data has been great and beautiful, but we've moved on up. And now we're working for the likes of like Kraft Heinz, who is a multi-billion-dollar publicly traded company. We structure all of their data. We do all the translations of all of their documents across their whole organization. So what this means is that they used to spend $10, $20 million a year on translating their documents, and they no longer have to pay that much, and they get it back a lot quicker with our pipeline that we built custom and specifically for them. So there's many products that you can build on top of us, and that's probably way too much for all of your audience, but anybody that understands what we're doing, if you think you need what we have, give me a call.
Great. And since you're talking about how things have progressed over time, just looking at the stats of how things have changed from the time that I remember meeting you, from the time we started hearing about Effect.AI, ever since you guys, well, your decentralized network of workers has managed to complete 8 million tasks, more than 8 million tasks, and now it spans across more than 1,000 people. So how do you scale that big in such a short amount of time? And of course, we know the blockchain has a lot to do with it. Being able to provide incentives has a lot to do with it. But how do you just manage to grow so big that fast and to stay true to the purpose?
Yeah, well, it's incredibly hard. If you've ever started a business or an enterprise and you're an entrepreneur, you know it may look like all sunshine and rainbows, but it's been incredibly tough and incredibly rough. And whenever something happens like Effect.AI, where things start to roll and everything's there, it's because the members of our team have already had tons of experience building different types of things, and we came together at the right time, the right place, and things just caught fire and sparked and grew really fast. So it really has to do with being in the right place at the right time, a lot of great and spectacular luck, more hard work than you could ever imagine, and just making sure that we adapt and understand first the most important thing. So people don't get this, because the whole entire crypto and blockchain space is a little bit corrupted and crazy. This is not about news. It's not about gimmicks. It's about what do customers need. If you can figure out what a customer needs, then you're going to have a successful business. And 99% of all crypto projects are not solving anything. They're good at marketing, so they get you excited. Let's go after this coin. I don't care about our coin. Our coin doesn't matter.
White paper. Yeah.
What matters is the customers, because if the customers use our technology, the byproduct of them using the technology is they have to have our token. And that's way more powerful than a bunch of crypto kids trading and buying these tokens. So we have the likes of Kraft Heinz, the government of Singapore, the United Nations buying massive chunks of our token. And that's what makes us different than everybody in the scene. And that hard work and dedication to focusing on that is really difficult, because as things are taking off, you want to jump into the crypto space and say, hey, we're here too. And really, this is the difference between us and others. We're here long term. This is something that I will guarantee to all of you guys. And I've done this from the beginning, but the truth is the first 2 years of business, always, you don't know if you're going to survive. There's many times we were all down on our knees going, oh my God, where and what do we do now? We're in so much trouble. Our last client is gone. We don't have the next one. Crypto's dead. What do we do? But I've always claimed the persistence to make this happen, because the team, the core team, has always said, if this goes to zero and we run out of funds and we can't financially support ourselves, then we do it after work. We do it in the morning, we do it during lunchtime, and we continue. So I knew this was going on, but now that we have clients, things are going, we made it through the really turbulent times. We're a long-term project that Effect.AI, the cryptocurrency EFX, and our governance token NFX will be here in 30 years, yeah? I put my name on it, I put my team on it, and they put their names on it as well. So that's the difference. When you're really thinking about where you should be putting your money in this ecosystem, it should really be, especially if you're not a professional trader, it should be on something that you believe in and people that are really in it for the long.
Exactly. We were just having this conversation over lunch, and it's just that. And when you talk about crypto companies, and especially when we had times like the biggest bubbles, the biggest times where projects were basically selling you nothing, which is kind of what we specialize on here in Decor, in finding out who is behind these companies and what is behind these companies. And you have the positive side of finance, which is like anyone can have a publicly listed company in a sort of way, and at the same time everyone can have a publicly listed company. So you have both the good side and the bad side of that. How does it actually, since you touched on the human side of things, how does it actually feel to see like the big spikes and the big dumps when it's your actual company in the crypto market?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question, because what's funny about this crazy project Effect.AI, it's not one company, right? It's actually turns out to be several companies in one. And that makes it really hard for the CEO of these projects. And I'm the CEO, so it's really freaking tough every day, because I come in here, I want to focus on sales, but then I have to focus on the communications with the crypto community, because I don't ignore them either. Just because we're very focused on the long term, cryptocurrency and blockchain is what got us here. So I respect it a great deal. I'm an active community member in the entire crypto scene. You've seen me all over the world. Everybody's seen me everywhere. I'm on all the virtual conferences now. I host them all. I know all the who's who in the space, because that's what got us here. And it's what...
And you reply to Telegram messages, which is even more surprising. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's what got us here, and it's why we're here. So I respect it greatly, but there's a business side to this as well that I really need to focus on and make sure that is right. So when it comes to the spikes, the peaks and the valleys of this crypto market, which we're talking about increases of hundreds of percentages and down the same way. It's tough. It's hard, because we work really hard on giving the value proposition, and fundamentals just don't mean anything. They don't mean anything in this space. They mean a little bit more when things are going good. When things are going bad, then they mean a little bit less. But yeah, the basic thing, it hurts. But it's kind of interesting to watch, because as we go up, we have workers on our platform, and many of the people that work on our platform, they're not crypto people. I'm talking about, we have hundreds of workers working full-time in Brazil. And these people are translators from their background. So we need to teach them about crypto, how our project works, how wallets work, how to cash out, and all of this stuff. But now they're good and they're doing this. And some of them, I'm on weekly calls with all of our workforce. That's who I care about the most. Crypto Place is great, but our workers I care about the most. And so they're working on our platform. And I always encourage them, maybe put a little bit of the EFX away. I know you have to cash out to buy groceries and everything else, but put some away. And some of them, most of our workers are making about 10 to 15 euros an hour. Yeah. And our price over the last few months have increased like by 3,000%. So the ones that saved a bit or even forgot or were lazy and didn't cash out, they're saying, Chris, I think there's a mistake. Something happened. And I now have $3,000 in my account instead of $300. So who do I give it back to? I'm like, no, this is the power of these upswings. But be careful because the downswings can be the same. So there's funny, neat aspects of it. It teaches regular people that are working in the ecosystem about how things can swing up. And it's important for them to learn about the swings down, because these people now that have seen this 3,000% increase are now going, oh my goodness, I need to get more and not sell any off. But it's hard to look, and I look forward to the days where things kind of level out and we're able to have more of a stable environment in this space. So the ups, they're not as great as you think, because I know, as you know, there's an equal and opposite reaction to all of this. And so it's up and down and up and down. And we try, but without prevailing, we try to make sure things go consistently. But you have these times where things go up 3,000% and then dropping back down. So to answer the question, it hurts, it's painful, but it's no more hurt or pain or joy than getting a new client or losing an old client. I mean, it's part of business. It's part of the whole scheme.
Okay, and since you touched on the internal economics of Effect.AI, because as we know, in order to make the business proposition happen, and in order to make to start working with you guys, these companies that decide that you have as clients have to buy these big chunks of your tokens, right? So people start wondering, right, how much those a big move on the market has to do with these big sales and purchases and everything. So how do you work with that? Do they purchase them directly from you? Do they purchase them from the general market? Is this meant to change at a certain point, or how does it work?
That's a phenomenal question. So obviously, when we wrote the white paper, we talked about what we have called the Galaxy Pool. And we wrote our white paper back in 2017. And if you look at that white paper, you'll quickly understand that the Galaxy Pool, this technology stack that Jesse Isis, one of the founders of Effect.AI, kind of dreamt up while people were playing Doge Poker and CryptoKitties was just about to launch. He was building decentralized finance within our system, knowing that we need to protect the requesters and the companies from volatile movements, and we have to protect the workers that are trying to cash out and earn money and everything else. So really, if you're tracing back DeFi, Effect.AI was the first. I'm sure DeFi came out of our white paper. But so what we decided moving forward, we didn't launch what we call the Galaxy Pool, which is this decentralized finance ecosystem to kind of mitigate the volatility of cryptocurrencies. Rather, what we did is we figured clients don't care. In 2017, we thought everybody's going to adopt cryptocurrency by next year. So all companies will have to figure out how to buy these things on the exchanges. Couldn't be further from the truth. So when we deal with the government of Singapore, when we deal with Kraft Heinz, when we deal with our biggest requesters and even our smallest requester, we take the money in fiat currencies. It gives us the capabilities to put it into trading bots and make sure that we're able to buy these tokens at a particular rate that we're using them to pay workers. So it's kind of this thing that we purchase the tokens when they're actually needed for that client. So for example, we've been working for Kraft Heinz on one project alone for like 6 months. It's $1 million deal. So we have that much money going into tokens. If we bought it all at one time, we might be above Bitcoin Bitcoin. So like the whole world would collapse. It wouldn't even make sense if we put in $1 million in our token right now. The liquidity is not there on that token. So what we do is we just stagger it into a bot and buy what we need a couple days in advance for our workforce. And that's kind of how it works. But so any client out there that is looking to use our platform, you don't have to worry about exchanges and buying cryptocurrency. But as we move into the future, we're going to have interfaces where clients can actually go and they can purchase these credits. They're actually purchasing cryptocurrencies, but for them, they're just thinking, oh, I'm buying more credits for the tasks that I need to do on Effect Force and the Effect.AI software. And that lives within the Effect Dawe, so the decentralized autonomous organization that we're launching in a couple of months from now that will incorporate decentralized finance. We finally get to launch the Galaxy Pool, and anybody that's interested in the technology stack or what we're building can just reference our white paper because it's all there. We stayed true to what we're building, and we're making steps in the direction of what we propose to do.
I mean, there's a million possible ways we could go from there. But since we're touching on that, and since everybody's really excited about it, what can you tell us about the DAO, about the decentralized organization? What's going to be happening there? How are we going to be able to use it? How do you guys benefit from it? How does the whole world benefit from these organizations that are completely decentralized?
Yes, I love it. So listen, completely decentralized is just not happening yet, right? We have Bitcoin, which I think Bitcoin is a DAO that's fully decentralized. Beautiful.
Completely.
Ethereum close to fully decentralized, and that's kind of a DAO too. You incentivize people to participate in the network and build value in a decentralized way. But when you come into software platforms and stuff that we're building, a decentralized network for artificial intelligence development, it becomes very complex. So we reverse engineer this. So we start in more of a centralized way. We kind of hold the tokens and we hold it until we've built some value. We have customers. We have now thousands. We have over 4,000 workers from 95 different countries. They're all working on the platform. Now there's some liquidity. We have a new exchange partner, a top tier exchange with KuCoin. And now things are moving. Now it's time to launch the first big step in decentralization. And that's a decentralized autonomous organization. And so how that works, especially for us, it's the most exciting step that we've been able to initiate with the project, is all of the people that have been supporting us, wanting to take part, collecting our tokens, believing in the vision. They now get to take those tokens, put their money where their mouth is, and start to add value to the system. So about a year ago, we said to everybody, if you stake your EFX, you put that away, we're going to give you this alternative token called NFX. NFX is basically nothing to get around security laws, but we're going to call it a governance token, and it might have some use case. But we knew exactly what it was for. It was to really reward the first users of our network, the first people and the first believers of our community, this token that in the future is going to tap into the decentralized autonomous organization. So with these people that really, really love our project, they're able to stake these tokens and then write proposals to get money from the network to build all kinds of stuff, whether it be code and all kinds of features on the network, whether it be design, whether it be business development and sales. These people are now going to be able to join Effect.AI, the initiative, in a decentralized way, and that's going to be distributed globally. It's unlimited. It can have 10,000 members. It can have 50 members. It just depends on who's there and who wants to actively get involved. There's going to be a proposal system where we have a bunch of tokens called the Galaxy Pool. It's a Galaxy liquidity pool of tokens that people can say, I'd really like to add this value. Then all of the DAO members get to vote. We think that's great value. Yes, give them the cash and let them build that. This is the organization of tomorrow. You want to bring costs down. You want to get real people that care about your products, about what your project is doing. We want to be the trendsetters in the DAOs. Decentralized finance is great, but imagine decentralized finance attached to a DAO of a project that's actually doing stuff. That's what we are. So yeah, listen, I'm not going to claim to invent decentralized finance, but it's all we were thinking about when we were talking about how we're going to manage the system. And a DAO is a perfect and beautiful way to incorporate individuals all over the world to take part. And so the core team is going to list out on a website, the Dawe website, these are the 150 things we want to accomplish in the next 5 years. whoever's out there, please grab one, write a proposal, and our community will vote if you should get the funds to make that happen. So it will accelerate the growth of Effect.AI exponentially. If you think that we grew fast from 2017 to now, watch what happens from 2020 to 2022. It's going to be 100x fold in growth. Yeah. So what that means for the token, it could be a million X or it could be a million% down. But what it means for our project is exponential growth, and we're really excited about it.
Yeah, well, I really love the transparency. I really love how you just like give us the raw data and the raw feeling. But that's just great because sometimes, and happens a lot when we were talking about like phony projects and phony etc. They just want to make you paint you a perfect picture, and this is how it actually is for anyone listening. If anyone's not talking like this, they're full of it. So
yeah, listen, if they're happy-go-lucky and everything's beautiful and sunshine and rainbows, it means that they won't be around in 3 weeks from now. So be very careful, man. All these DeFi projects, they're based on nothing. They came out of nowhere, and they will go back into obscurity in just a few weeks. Decentralized finance is here to stay. It's beautiful. You can argue that Bitcoin is decentralized finance and everything else, but these services and products that are being built with smart contract stacks, if you attach those services to a project that's real, that's where decentralized finance is absolutely massive. We are the projects that are doing something are the ones that can really give out loans. There's people and projects and companies using the network, so you can have these big pools where people can get those financial services from a decentralized project like ourselves, and not from a project that just has a cool staking mechanism to create these things. Because what happens to all of the DeFi projects once the bull run or stable markets are gone is the opposite reaction. So the opposite of decentralized finance after things are going down is a really horrible, not such a nice place. But if you attach decentralized financial systems to a project that's working, that's where you will have sustainability of these products, and will be that. So I think that this is funny and it's a big statement, but I'm going to make it right here, right now, and officially with you, that we will be the biggest DeFi project in 2022 because we survived this whole thing as having a DeFi centric part of our system. But it's only one part, but it's going to end up being the blueprint of how a DeFi project should be. It should be attached to a successful company before you launch it. So yeah, we're excited to finally launch that right at the time where DeFi is a thing. So yeah, it's exciting.
Looks like a perfect storm coming for this type of project right now, isn't it? And man, I just there's so many things happening with Effect.AI that I could take this conversation anywhere. But if there is something that it's kind of trapped me lately, it's because 3 weeks ago I was talking on this show with Nitin Gaur. He's the head of digital assets in IBM. So he knows what he's talking about. And he was touching on a very similar point that you just did, which is the invisible blockchain. And this is the same thing you mentioned where you don't move. Let's be completely honest. I don't know why. I don't know all the way deep down. I don't know why I'm seeing you right now. I know how some parts of it work, but I don't know how the electricity part work, and I don't know how the ones and zeros work. And ideally, this is what we want to achieve with these blockchain technologies and with this artificial intelligence, right? We want people to be able to easily access it and easily use it without even knowing how it works. And it's great that you already have people in your system doing the work to facilitate and to keep these structures up that they don't even know how the cryptocurrency part works exactly. What else are you guys doing in order to? Because I know you're working with the UN, with Acon, with YouTube, with all these different clients. What else are you doing that we might not even know that we're using Effect AI systems right now?
So every time you're on Google search, that's actually by Effect.AI. So we invented Google search. No, I'm kidding.
Have you ever seen an automobile?
Listen, That's where we came from. That's why we're so successful. Yeah, listen, we have challenges, very much so. But what people may be using that they wouldn't know, there's many systems. So all of the people that are logging into our platform, it looks just like a regular website. We have gamification on there to encourage good participation, to encourage good quality work. And as they're doing these tasks and they're clicking the buttons, there's smart contract stacks. Like it's not just a smart contract that says if you send me this and I do this, then I get the money. But it's stacks of smart contracts that are doing all kinds of stuff that most people don't get. And people that are even like programmers and have built sophisticated things on the internet, they wouldn't even understand it. They'd be like, blockchain, what? Like, how is that working? Okay, so it's connected to the protocol of the internet, but it's a new protocol. So there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that is going on to make it possible, you know? So when a YouTube person comes and they use our service called Rosette's not even attached to our company. This is a decentralized application built on top of the Effect network that's completely separate, that was built by our community members. And what that does is just taps into our Effect force to be able to do the subtitling of a YouTube video and also translate those subtitles into many languages for multilingual search engine optimization. It's huge. It's a massive market, and we're really trying to corner that market. But when you as a YouTuber come on board onto that website and then say, oh, here's my video, okay, here's my $50 via PayPal or my credit card, you have no idea that this is not only a network of thousands of people, it's also a network of a bunch of algorithms that are working alongside humans. It's a bunch of smart contracts on the blockchain and a bunch of other technologies. So it's a beautiful thing, but it's exactly like what we're doing here. How the heck do I see you in Argentina? How is that really happening? I don't have a clue. I used to build houses a little bit. I used to kickbox. I play guitar a little bit, but I'm not the technical guy of this team. I have no idea how this is happening. It's magical, and it's also very easy. So we need to continue to make things ease of use, and that's where, I think we really have a leg up, because a lot of our team are computer software engineers and complex system engineers, and can really, make these systems easy for people.
And as we build talking about our company right now a bit, as we build this distributed network of researchers that are looking into all kinds of projects at the same time, you really marvel at the ability of people in the middle of Africa, in the middle of Latin America, to just connect with each other and work together seamlessly. And this is what the internet and the blockchain has brought, right? That we can tap into talent wherever they are and reward them. And even like I was talking to you before this call, before we hit record on the interview, like when you have hyperinflation, then you really see how people hugely start to benefit from being able to work from anywhere and with anyone. So how do you see the blockchain being different or better than the internet itself on these kind of tasks in these kind of distributed networks?
Yeah, this is a great question and an amazing subject, and I'm at the forefront of this subject. The whole methodology of having these hubs in Georgia, and now with ACON, we're going to have our next hub in Kenya. Right after that, we're going to Senegal, then we'll be in Pakistan, then we'll be in Nepal, then we'll be in all of these developing nations. The ability to jump onto these platforms, because in developing nations, the power of blockchain is so great, but they don't know about it. So it's my job and your job and everybody in this space to get there to these people and say, hey, listen, this should not be set aside for Western people. They're dealing with political problems, and they're going to take 15 years to recover. But you have an opportunity right now to leapfrog, not leapfrog to where they're at, but beyond them, to be the world leaders. Africa, these developing nations, they're going to leapfrog all the way to the forefront, right to the front of the line, say, hey, America, hey, Great Britain, we're here, like, who the heck are you? Yeah, we're Nepal, we're Pakistan, we're Nigeria, we're Georgia. Like, what the heck? Those places really exist? How are you guys here? It's because we're there at the forefront teaching them how to take advantage of this technology through first earning money. So they understand the power, like, holy smokes, I'm getting paid on this system immediately in 1 second, to my wallet. And then it's up to them to figure out how to cash that out. But that power of, like, it's borderless. You don't have to rely on a third party intermediary to get you those funds. There's no fees involved, anything. So that's powerful. But then if you add education to that, if you teach them how to program, what a smart contract is, what Bitcoin is, what money and fiat currencies actually are, and central banks and printing money. If you teach them about how to develop these applications, you teach them what AI is, within 5 years, they've taken the whole entire market. And that's the initiative that I'm behind. And that's what's going to happen. It's not a theory. It's not a speculation. Within 5 years, many developing nations are going to be caught up right to the point of all of these Western companies that have broken systems and collapsing incredibly because of their financial systems and governments. And that's the most exciting part of this whole entire journey. That's it. And listen, these people in these countries, they have more work ethic and more drive to see their communities and their citizens thrive through this, that when we go into these nations like Georgia, I can't wait to get over to Kenya, because I have these kids interviewing me. The way and how they are so professionally with me, I think, oh my God, this is like the CNN of Kenya. But then it's a kid in a mud hut with a little microphone and a little light, and he's interviewing me. These guys are eager. They'll do whatever it takes. So that's the exciting part of blockchain, and that's where I see it going. I think blockchain, there are going to be big industries using blockchain, but the ones that benefit most are the countries and governments that were sitting there going, wow, we got raped and pillaged by the financial systems of the Western world, and now we're at the forefront of this new technology, AI and blockchain, and now we're the leaders, So that's where I see us going.
Man, I think that is a great place to start wrapping up this interview, because it just drives across the point that this is a new financial ecosystem. This is a new world that we're helping build together, and well, you're the perfect spokesman for it. So since our readership and our email list is mostly comprised of people in the institutional space, any message you'd like to send to that kind of people, of the institutions, of the people wanting to bring in the money to help power this ecosystem?
Yeah, listen, if you're trying to make change, contact Effect.AI. If you're trying to incorporate artificial intelligence systems to automate processes, now couldn't even be a better time because of COVID. You've laid off a bunch of people. You're trying to figure out, innovate right now so you don't lose your position in the hierarchy of business. We're here for those initiatives. So if it's a social good initiative, or you want to incorporate AI into your system, so let's get away from blockchain for a second. If you want to automate systems in a way you've never dreamt possible, contact Effect.AI. We'll do a pilot really quickly. We'll show you how easy AI is, how easy it is to incorporate it into your systems. Who cares about the blockchain and crypto side? We'll deal with that side. You don't have to do anything. And we can get pilots started for anybody really, really quickly. And if you don't like what we do, then you don't know what you're doing, because I promise you, you're going to be able to incorporate these things incredibly quickly. Through us, we proxy every algorithm that's known to man, and we can put that into your systems with human validators to automate anything, and that benefits people from all over the world. So that's what I'm saying to your institutional people, your investors, your companies. Contact me today for any reason. I don't even care. If you just want to talk, just call me. I'm ready. I work 24/7. Let's go.
He does. He really does. Okay. Last question, fun one. When are the machines taking over?
When are the machines taking? They've already taken over a long time ago, man. Amazon did it. It's done already. So it's locked in. It's locked in history already. No, listen. Here's the deal with machines. Yeah, it's humans are going to play a vital role for the next 15, 20 years with machines. And then from there, it's going to get really interesting, because it's impossible to predict where technology is going to go. Are you on Elon's side? I love Elon Musk. I love him. Is our algorithms and machines, are they going to really be, these evil malicious things, and maybe not even evil, because if you break it down to a logic thing, humans are developing them. You say, please act in our best interest, and they go, whoa, humans are the worst thing that could ever be on the planet. So if I'm acting in the best interest, I need to wipe you guys out. There's many ways that the machine can go. And I'm just happy that I'm living in this generation, that I will probably die before we see whether or not it creates a utopia for everybody, interplanetarian, or if it just scorches the earth and takes over that way. But I'm hopeful to make it a democratic and open kind of environment for AI, and do it in a good, open, and inclusive ecosystem.
You heard it from Chris. You're gonna have to wait a little bit for Terminator 2. I, for one, welcome our new machine overlords. And well, thank you very much, Chris. It's been a pleasure.
My pleasure, totally. Thank you very much.